Are we doing this, how are we doing anyways?
Yeah.
Are you going to record the whole thing?
It's on.
It's on now? Okay. We were doing this different thing.
Did you turn it on? Or is it on?
It's on now.
Okay, just leave it.
Okay. He can have it.
Yeah.
Let's see, I need this. As far as you have it on, but I didn't have this open. This is So this is reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami, and this is verse 27. Nigudha Jatrum Pritu Tunga Vakshasam Nigudha Jatrum Pritu Tunga Vakshasam. Okay, go ahead. You're going to try again. Nigudha Jatrum Pritu Tunga Vakshasam. I did it right this morning. Okay. Avarta Nabhin Bali Vagudaram Cha Avarta Nabhin Bali Vagudaram Cha
Avatanabim Bali Alugudaram Cha
Avartanabhim Bali Balgudaram Cha
Avatanabim Bali Alugudaram Cha
Dig Ambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham
Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham
Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham
Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham
Pralamba Bahum Swamarotamabam Pralamba Bahum Swamarotamabam Pralamba Bahum Swamarotamabam Niguda Jatrum Pritutunga Vakshasam Avartanabhim Bali Vagudaram Cha Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham Pralamba Bahum Swamarutamabam Niguda Jatrum Pritutunga Vakshasam Avartanabhim Vali Vagudaram Cha Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham Pralamba Bahum Swamarutamabam That doesn't work out right for me. Anyway, okay, go ahead, please chant.
Nikundara Chatum Pritutunga Vakshasam Avartanabhim Bali Vagudaram Cha Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham Pralamba Bahum Swamarutomabam
Niguda Jatram Pritutunga Vakshasam Avartanabhim Bali Vagudaram Cha Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham
Digambaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham
Guruji, you want to try? Krishna
Oh, sorry.
Nikunda Jatrum Pritutunga Vaksasam
Nikunda Jatrum Pritutunga Vaksasam
Avartana Bimbali Valguduram Cha
Avartana Bimbali Valguduram Cha
Digabara Matra Vikarnakesham
Digabara Matra Vikarnakesham
Pralamba Bahum Swamarotamabam
Pralambavadum Swamarotamabam
Nikula Jatram Pritutunga Vakshasham
Nikula Jatram Pritutunga Vakshasham
Evartana Bimbali Valgudaram
Avartana Bimbali Valgudaram Cha
Diganarvaram Tatra Vikirnam Esham
Diganarvana Chokra Vikerna Shisham
Kalamba Bahum Savamaraktoam Baham
Pralamba Bahum Swarotanam
Nigudha Jatrum Pritutunga Vakshasham Avatana Bimbali Valgudaram Cha
Avartana Bimbali Valgudaram Cha
Dig Alvaram Vaktra Vikirna Kesham
Digavaram Matra Vikirna Kesham
Pralamba Bahum Swamarotamabham
Pralamba Bahum Swamarotamabam.
Okay. Word meanings. Nigudha,
Madhava,
covered.
covered.
Jatrum,
Jatrum,
collarbone.
collarbone.
Pritu,
Pritu
broad.
Right.
Tunga,
Tunga
swollen.
Swollen
Vakshasam,
Vakshasam
chest.
Chest.
Avarta,
Avatar.
world.
World
Nabin,
Nabin.
navel.
Navel
Valibalgu,
Balu
striped.
Right.
Udaram,
Udaram.
abdomen.
Abdomen
Cha,
Cha
also.
Also
Dik ambaram,
Dikambaram
dressed by all directions.
Dressed by all directions
Parentheses, naked.
Naked
Vaktra,
Vaktra
curled.
Curled
Vikirna,
Vikirna.
scattered.
Scattered
Kesham,
Kesham.
hair.
Hair
Palamba,
Palamba
elongated.
Elongated.
Bahum,
Bahum.
hands.
Hands.
Su amara uttama,
Udaram. Udaram.
oh best among the gods.
Oh, best among gods.
Parentheses, Krishna.
Parentheses.
Krishna. Get that word parentheses in there. Abham,
Avam.
hue.
You.
That's H-U-E, like color, hue. So, translation of purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Rajul Prabhupada.
His collarbone is fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep, and his abdomen beautifully striped. His arms were long, and curly hair was strewn over his beautiful face. He was naked, and the hue of his body reflected that of Lord Krishna. Please repeat. His collarbone was fleshy,
His collarbone was fleshy.
his chest broad and thick,
His chest broad and thick.
his navel deep,
His navel deep.
and his abdomen beautifully striped.
And his abdomen was beautifully striped.
His arms were long,
His arms were long.
and curly hair
And curly hair
was strewn over his beautiful face.
was strewn over his beautiful face.
He was naked,
He was naked.
and the hue of his body
And the hue of his body
reflected that of Lord Krishna.
reflected that of Lord Krishna.
It's a short purport. His bodily features indicate him to be different from common men. All the signs described in connection with the bodily features of Shukadeva Goswami are uncommon symptoms typical of great personalities according to physiognomical calculations. His body here resembled that of Lord Krishna, who is the supreme among the gods, demigods, and all living beings. And the next one is on the same line, and it's no purport, so I'm just going to include it. Because otherwise it would break in an awkward way if it did this one next time, and then had to go to the next one, which starts a new kind of phase. So the next verse, Shamam sada pibya vayon galakshnya strinam manogyam ruchirasmitena pratyutihaste munayas vasanevyas talakshanagya apigudha. And that translation is, he was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth. Because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles, he was pleasing to women. Though he tried to cover his natural glories, the great sages present there were all expert in the art of physiognomy, and so they honored him by rising from their seats. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So, we have here a very, when you really analyze it, it's a very uncommon kind of, for one thing, on most people the collarbone shows. Even somebody who's got big muscles, the collarbone is, you can see where it is, but it's like covered. The translation is covered. Not just fleshy, but covered. So it's around, there's a painting by, not an ISKCON artist, but an artist in India of a previous generation. It's his name, I just wrote.
B.J. Sharma or something? Sharma.
Not Sharma. His name starts with, I don't know what it starts with. It starts with a B or something. It's from before ISKCON started, like in the 30s or something, 1920, 1930 or something. And it's famous in ISKCON. We see this picture a lot. It's Krishna. He's playing his flute, and he's got his sweet, sweet smile, and he's kind of standing as if he's hovering over a little patch of flowers. And at his feet, Radharani is kneeling, offering flowers. So we've all seen this picture probably a lot of times. And that picture, if you examine it closely, you see Krishna's form. Prabhupada said that painting looks like really Krishna. I've always, as an artist trying to paint Krishna, I've always puzzled what particular aspect of that painting looks so much like Krishna. And so I think the form described there is like this form, which is like Krishna's form. Shukadeva Goswami's form is like Krishna's form. And it might be the form and the sweetness of the smile, especially. And I don't know what Prabhupada was looking at, but I would say these were important factors in why that painting looks like Krishna. Does everybody know what painting that is?
I have it right here.
Oh, good. Okay. You check with me first, make sure. So.
What's it called, Madhava?
This is the one you're talking about, right?
Yes. That one.
What's it called?
I'm not sure.
No, the name of Krishna is it. It came up recently. Somebody posted it, and I probably were tuned into the same person posting. And so I've got it on my phone too, and not the name. But thank you for bringing that out. His form is especially curved and especially rounded in what looks like especially artistic ways. But it matches this description. So obviously this is not, if you examine when you have time and really look at it, this is not an ordinary physique that's being described. It's way above the ordinary, to the point where it would look like an artist created it instead of being realistic, except it's the real description. It looks like an artist created it to make a poetic form, but it's the real description. So this is very, very fascinating, especially to me. I'm an artist, so I'm trying to understand these things, how it would look. So his navel is deep, and the translation is world. So his navel goes in like that. And his abdomen is striped with muscles or folds or something. His arms were long, curly hair was strewn over his beautiful face. His body is colored like Krishna. He's blackish and very beautiful, youthful, attractive smiles. And the sages could all recognize him. That by the art of physiognomy alone, they knew this is a very great personality. So they apparently they did not personally possess, these sages didn't personally possess these particular physical attributes, so they immediately honored him. Now, for some of the sages, it probably apparently was not the first time they saw him, because he accompanied Krishna and the other sages to the kingdom of Videha, the city of Mithila, which I talked about recently. And even before Krishna left, somehow he was there. I don't know at what point that pastime happened. How near to Krishna's leaving did that pastime happen? It appears at the end of the Krishna book, but it doesn't say when it happened. So anyways, Shukadeva Goswami is beautiful formed in the way that Krishna is beautifully formed. And he has the same complexion as Krishna. He has the curly hair flowing over his face like Krishna, sweet smiles, very much like Krishna's, like having attractive smiles. So he looked very much like Krishna. This is really an amazing sight, because you don't usually see somebody this beautiful, poetically formed, beautiful like that. So I thought I would look up. I did look up. See, I have to find it on my phone. I have to have that, and I have to take time to find it. Sorry. The list of the signs, body signs in more detail. Mukunda Mala Stotra, it's given. One place I found it.
It's also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah, I couldn't find it there. I tried to look and I couldn't find it there, but I found it here, and I found it in. No, I did find it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's more briefly stated, I think. A little briefer. I did find it there. I found it here first, more stated in longer words, a little bit more detailed. Let's see, verse 2.
What's the address?
The address.
This is in Mukunda Mala Stotra, which is in the Pocket Vedas, and it's the third from the last paragraph. It's a very long paragraph. So here it is. The present verse of the Mukunda Mala Stotra states that the color of the Lord's body is blackish, like that of a new cloud. Also, his body is very soft. Softness of the body is a sign of a great personality. The Shastras state that the following bodily features indicate a great personality. Now, here we go. But first time, softness. Krishna's body is so soft that the gopis worried about him going barefoot out into the woods. They worried about hurting his feet themselves, that even putting his feet on their breasts, that would hurt his soft feet. So soft. The sign of a great personality. That's Krishna's softness. Okay. Here's the signs. A reddish luster in 7 places. The eyes, the palms, the soles of the feet, the palate, that's the inside of the mouth, the lips, the tongue, and the nails. Okay, broadness in 3 places. The waist, the forehead, and the chest. Shortness in 3 places. The neck, the thighs, and the genitals. Deepness in 3 places. The voice, the intelligence, and the navel. Highness in 5 places. The nose, the arms, the ears, the forehead, and the thighs. And fineness in 5 places. The skin, the hair on the head, the bodily hair, the teeth, and the fingertips. All these features are present in the body of the Lord. So, I'll read one more paragraph, short. The Brahma Samhita confirms that the color of the Lord's body is blackish, like that of a new cloud. But this blackish color is so beautiful that it surpasses the beauty of millions of cupids. So this blackish color does not correspond to any blackish color in the material world. Really frustrating for an artist working with paint. So anyways, we can only try. It's not easy. We can only try to approximate. So then we're going to go to Chaitanya Charitamrita.
And what was the address?
That was Mukundamala Stotra, verse 2, and it's in the purport. It's the third from the last paragraph of a really long purport. Go to the last and go up 3.
Okay.
So this is, where's your time chart? Here, okay. This is Adi, 14, 7. Okay. I'm going to read 7 to 20, and then 15 especially in the purport. 7. Okay, it's when the Lord tried to walk. This is talking about baby Lord Chaitanya learning how to walk. So this is a little pastime. His parents noticed the markings on his feet. Okay, when the Lord tried to walk, in his small footprints, the specific marks of Lord Vishnu were visible, namely the flag, thunderbolt, conch shell, disc, and fish. 8. Seeing all these marks, neither his father nor his mother could understand whose footprints they were. Thus, struck with wonder, they could not understand how those marks could be possible in their home. 9. Jagannath Mishra said, certainly child Krishna is with the Shalagram Shila. Taking his childhood form, he is playing within the room. While Mother Shachi and Jagannath Mishra were talking, child Nimai woke up and began to cry, so Mother Shachi took him on her lap and allowed him to suck her breast. 11. While Mother Shachi was feeding the child from her breast, she saw on his lotus feet all the marks that were visible on the floor of the room, and she called for Jagannath Mishra. 12. When Jagannath Mishra saw the wonderful marks on the soul of his son, he became very joyful and privately called for Nilambar Chakravarti. I think he was an uncle or something, or grandfather, something, a great wise astrologer and wise devotee in the village. So, 13. When Nilambar Chakravarti saw those marks, he smilingly said, formerly I ascertained all this by astrological calculation and noted it in writing. Then he continues, that's okay. 14. There are 32 bodily marks that symptomize a great personality, and I see all those marks on the body of this child. 15. There are 32 bodily symptoms of a great personality. 5 of his, this is quoting from somewhere, 5 of his bodily parts are large, 5 fine, 7 reddish, 6 raised, 3 small, 3 broad, and 3 grave. And I'll read right through to 20, then I'm going to go back to the purport of this. 16. This baby has all the symptoms of Lord Narayan on his palms and soles. He will be able to deliver all the 3 worlds. 17. This child will preach the Vaishnava cult and deliver both his maternal and paternal families. 18. I propose to perform a name-giving ceremony. We should observe a festival and call for the Brahmanas because today is very auspicious. 19. In the future, this child will protect and maintain all the world. For this reason, he is to be called Vishvambar. 20. After hearing Nilambar Chakravarti's prediction, Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra observed the name-giving festival in great joy, inviting all the Brahmanas and their wives. So back to 15, read the purport. 15 again. There are 32 bodily symptoms of a great personality. 5 of his bodily parts are large, 5 are fine, 7 reddish, 6 raised, 3 small, 3 broad, and 3 grave. Slightly different wording from the other place. Okay, purport. The 5 large parts are the nose, arms, chin, eyes, and knees. Chin is large. Let's say this. The 5 fine parts are the skin, fingertips, teeth, hair on the body, and hair on the head. The 7 reddish parts are the eyes, soles, palms, palate, nails, and upper and lower lips. The 6 raised parts are the chest, shoulders, nails, nose, waist, and mouth. The 3 small parts are the neck, thighs, and male organ. The 3 broad parts are the waist, forehead, and chest. The 3 grave parts are the navel, voice, and existence. Altogether, these are the 32 symptoms of a great personality. This is a quotation from the Samudrika. And so there we have two different descriptions that are pretty near to each other. They have a little variety to it. So, something I should study more, obviously trying to pin Krishna. So, Uddhava, in Krishna book, Uddhava, there also looks very much like Krishna. Uddhava, chapter 47. 47.
That's not Uddhava Gita, is it?
No, it's in Krishna book.
Oh.
Uddhava Gita is in the 11th canto. Krishna book's in the 10th canto, but this is what Uddhava went to. Uddhava was sent by Krishna to console the devotees in Vrindavan. So, Uddhava 47. I'm going to read the first two paragraphs of this. When the gopis saw Uddhava, they observed that his features almost exactly resembled those of Krishna, and they could understand that he was a great devotee of Krishna's. His arms were very long, and his eyes were just like the petals of the lotus flower. He was dressed in yellow garments and wore a garland of lotus flowers. His face was very beautiful. Having achieved the liberation of Sarupya, and thus having the same bodily features as the Lord, Uddhava looked almost like Krishna, period. In Krishna's absence, the gopis had been coming dutifully to visit Mother Yashoda's house early in the morning. They knew that Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda were always grief-stricken, and they had made it their first duty to come and pay their respects to the most exalted elder personalities of Vrindavan. Seeing the friends of Krishna, Nanda and Yashoda would remember Krishna himself and be satisfied, and the gopis would also be pleased by seeing Nanda and Yashoda. When the gopis saw that Uddhava was representing Krishna even in his bodily features, they thought he must be a soul completely surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They began to contemplate, who is this boy who looks just like Krishna? He has the same eyes like lotus petals, the same raised nose and beautiful face, and he is smiling in the same way. In all respects, he resembles Krishna, Shyamasundar, the beautiful blackish boy. He is even dressed exactly like Krishna. Where has this boy come from? Who is the fortunate girl who has him for her husband? Thus they talked among themselves. They were very anxious to know about him, and because they were simple, unsophisticated village girls, they surrounded Uddhava. And it goes on that how Uddhava delivered the message to them, and then Radharani has this mad conversation with the bumblebee and so on, that story. So here we see that Krishna has certain very unusual bodily features, and those who are his surrendered devotees can also look just like Krishna. So Uddhava and Shukadeva Goswami are two examples of liberated souls who look just like Krishna. Uddhava must have been liberated at birth also. It's like Shukadeva was. Uddhava's, of course, an eternal associate of Krishna. So everybody who's an eternal associate of Krishna doesn't look like Krishna, but it depends on the particular relationship. So, then 5 kinds of liberation. I'll just talk about that. There's 5 kinds of liberation. Just to tie it all together, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Madhya. Madhya. 6 to 66. These chapters are really long in Chaitanya Charitamrita. 266. There are 5 kinds of liberation. Salokya, Samithya, Sarupya, Sarshti, and Sayujya. Sa means same. Always like, doesn't it? Sa? No, all. Anyways, I thought I was breaking it down, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, Salokya means, this is the purport, Salokya means that after material liberation, one is promoted to the planet where the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides. Salokya, you can remember that because Loka is a planet, right? Salokya. Samipya means remaining an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarupya, Rupa means form, right? Sarupya means attaining a four-handed form exactly like that of the Lord. Sarshti means attaining opulences like those of the Supreme Lord. And Sayujya means merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. These are the 5 types of liberation. And of course, devotees definitely don't want Sayujya. They do not want to merge. The others, you take or leave, it doesn't matter. Just let me serve Krishna, the real devotees. So you may end up in one or more of those situations, but you're not seeking that for the sake of that. Seeking just to serve Krishna with pure devotional service. But anyways, Sarupya means attaining a four-handed form exactly like that of the Lord. Well, similarly, although it wasn't in earth to walk around, also Krishna has a two-armed form, but to be totally devoted to Krishna, and to be walking around on earth having natural pastimes among earthlings, two-armed is the thing. And also being in Krishna's own planet, Goloka, two-armed is the thing. So both Shukadeva Goswami and Uddhava looked exactly like Krishna, or very near to like it being like Krishna, with two arms and all the beautiful characteristics of that kind of form. But somehow nobody just looks like it. Sometimes we see some twins, and they look so much alike you can't tell them apart. But then you learn their personalities, and you can. So the gopis knew that Uddhava was not Krishna. Even though he looked just like him, they knew he was not Krishna. Likewise, the rishis didn't say, Krishna has come. Even though they know that this is the form of Krishna also, they knew by the personality. And some of you just with invisible eyes, you can see personality. So they knew it wasn't Krishna, but they knew it was a great devotee of Krishna. So that's all I can say about that. Any comments or questions? Yeah.
The word physiognomy, and the word that Prabhupada uses, physiognoco.
That's just the form
Right?
of it.
Yeah, this form.
Yeah. That's your question?
It's just an old word. It's an ancient word.
It's a science that we don't get to practice it very much because nobody has really outstanding features.
But sometimes I've seen.
Unless, we don't really see that.
No, I've seen some devotees look at guests or someone and say, "Wow, they must be a special soul. They're so
Maybe,
beautiful."
yeah. I was going to say there are people. This science goes all the way to analyze ordinary people too. Whether you have good karma, whether you sometimes people are just beautiful, not beautiful like on Krishna's level. But as far as earthly planets go, some people are beautiful and some people are not. Well, it shows something about them, their karma, or possibly their spiritual life that has. Looks are not neutral. It's a modern idea that one should not judge a person by their looks and all that. But it's part of your karma, so it has a meaning.
And sometimes this could be good, this could be bad.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter as far as anybody in any kind of looks can become a devotee of Krishna. So that doesn't limit you or anything. But it may tell something about your karma and where you've come from and where you're coming, what you're able to come to at this point. But it doesn't limit you from growing and becoming Krishna conscious. That's a different level altogether. So, yeah.
What you mentioned about karma versus looks and energy, believe it or not, people have often told me, just come up and said, you have such great energy without even knowing my name. It's like, it happened a couple of times, like in malls and public, and it's like, wow. And before I came out here, this second, not last Sunday, but Saturday, I was getting stuff for the house, so my husband would have plenty of frozen vegetarian dinners to eat, he went out to eat, which was fun. But this lady was saying, with this big flat of water I keep in the car and I travel, she says, are you going camping? I said, not necessarily, I'm staying at New Talavana. And she asked what that was, and long story short, I just started talking to her about my path, and she was asking what are Hare Krishnas. You could tell she was not as dated, as old as I was, because she didn't know what they were. And I was telling her, and this is in Wetumpka, Alabama, and she was like, thank you for talking to me. Can you bring me back books? I want to learn more about this. And as I was building up the car to get ready for the trip, for the next day, and I was like, it was like, that was such an amazing experience. And this woman saying, you just really had some good karma about you. And it was dark when I picked up the groceries. I order online and you go to the back door or the side door. And yeah, it's Krishna's mercy. That's all I could say.
We have invisible eyes that some people are more tuned into. We don't realize it, but we see with invisible eyes that which is invisible to our eyes. We see and we don't know, like when your twins look exactly alike, but we can see who's who. And we don't know, we don't think about that too much, but it's there, so people can see with invisible eyes if you're, enthusiastic in devotional service. It's amazing that there are still people who don't know what Hare Krishnas are. And there are more people now than there were in the heyday of the Krishna consciousness movement, when there was a lot more preaching and Harinam and everything more visible. And it was like it was a household word, but we got a new generation, and it's not so much a household word anymore. So, huh?
I had never heard of Krishna.
There are people, yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, when we had our shop in Little 5 Points in Atlanta, people would come in from the small towns in the country. There would be, a big event going to Atlanta and go to Little 5 Points, kind of like a hippie mecca. And they would come there like as tourists, and they would encounter us, and the people who never heard of Krishna. It's like amazing. So we think that we've become famous, but fame fades. A new generation comes who hasn't heard. Yeah, it means you have to do some preaching or something. Okay.
I have something to say.
What? Okay.
That's why it's really important to do Harinam, because there's so many people only when they see it once. I'm trying to, in the summertime it's good for us to go because it's not cold and all that stuff. But I'm trying to get a party going somewhere soon, in the summertime.
Yeah.
And I just recently heard Guru Maharaj said this thing, and it's so true, When you're going out there, you're chanting and you're giving these books and this and that, and some bad, envious one who don't like us or have seen us there many times, we chant Hare Krishna really loud. They shout out at us. This is what they say: "Go get a job, go get a job." I said, yes. And the way Maharaj said it, it was so funny. Everybody was just like, "Go get a job, go get a job." I think just said, "Go get a job."
This is my job.
Yeah. They'll say, "Go get a job." But here's my analyzing station about that. Those people don't understand. We have taken up this job to help human beings, and this is what we want to do as a job, to help other people. That's, it's a job, but we want to help others. We have taken this up as a serious job. But they don't get it. They scream at us, "Go get a job." How many times someone came right on my face, so you need a job. That's what they told me. You need a job.
Right, how am I going to do when I'm running my restaurant?
I didn't say thank you. I said thank you. You're right. I need a job. I walked away. It's so funny.
There's a story of Vishujan, he was out there. They were doing hours of Harinam. He was playing the mridanga for hours. They had all kinds of tricks. His hands would bleed and everything. He would wear gloves. He would take coins to his fingertips, all kinds of stuff, so he could play. And some man said, some older guy came up and said, "Let me see your hands. I know you don't work." He was expecting soft hands. Right? Yeah. Vishujan showed him his scarred up, damaged hands. The man looked at him and walked away.
People are so judgmental.
Yeah, yeah. It's unbelievable sometimes how they think. Got anything else? Hey, thank you all very much. All bless to Srila Prabhupada and all bless to Srimad Bhagavatam. Next text is 29.